across a lot of really distressing videos in the wake of the death by his own hands of Robin Williams. And, it's one of those things where I'm going to be reeling from it and grieving over it to a point for a long time, because literally the majority of my time spent alive in this world has been inspired by and influenced by and positively affected many, many, many times over by Robin Williams and the things he did. His comedy, his humanity, his compassion, comic relief, all these types of things. And I've seen a lot of people, from religious backgrounds being very hateful and spiteful, saying he's gone to hell and he's suffering for his suicide. And there was a video I happened upon where this cat was saying nobody really cares about his life or his death. We're just reacting as Americans to a celebrity, and in a day we'll forget it and we'll move on. And if we were really truly affected and we were really truly grieving, as only his family can do, this person purported, then we should be made to wear a black cloth over our face for the next month, and we should wear a pin denoting our love of Robin Williams for the next month, and we should cease speaking for an entire month. Only to those extreme, irrational degrees can we prove our being moved and affected by, his life coming to an end. And as somebody who has gone through losing both parents, all of our grandparents with the exception of one, and stuff like that, I can tell you, you are full of shit, and you're asshole if you believe that. Because when I lost my dad, life moved on. There was tremendous grief and grieving and mourning and having to try to understand how to function beyond it, but that's all we could do. There's a picture of me in a chair in our living room, the week of his funeral, where I'm just looking at the camera and you can see the fatigue and you can see the remorse and the sadness, but at the same time you can see the drive to live is still there. And I think we can be affected by people whose lives are extinguished that we've never known. I don't think you can make a comparison and say, how about all the people dying in Africa? How about, there are people dying everywhere, every day. And there's something to be said for the psychological comfort, the entertainment comfort of someone like a Robin Williams in this world who brings joy, who spread joy out around and amongst everyone. And how dare anyone, try to turn that on its ear and say we should not have celebrated that. We should not react to that with sadness and grieve and mourn. It's something where when you're touched by someone, of course it's going to resonate more than someone you're just physically distanced from, whether in awareness or not. I am aware that there are deaths in Africa. I am aware that there are hundreds of thousands of deaths every day in our own country. Homeless, children, people who are being kept from making money and losing their jobs and things like that. The government is taking a big fat shit all over. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't celebrate the loss of their lives. I've never known them. I can only grieve and mourn them and try to fight to have that change. But with a person like Robin Williams, who was a beacon of light and a ray of hope and a bringer of joy, you have to celebrate those angels incarnate. You have to celebrate that, and you're going to feel, if you've ever been touched by a person like that who has brought you such joy, you're not delusional. Don't ever let anyone speak down to you and condescend to imply that you are less of a human being or lesser of a human being, that you might be affected by it. Don't ever succumb to the belief that you are weak or you are ignorant for celebrating such things. And, there's there's also been a lot of conspiracy theory stuff about the Illuminati and just irrational, spiteful, stupid things. But yeah, I just wanted to share that. Death is as much a part of life as living is. And even in the best of times, even in the worst of times, c'est la vie.